we're going to segue from there, from a top performing host to talking to one. So I'm going to bring Todd on stage in just a moment. I want to kind of give you a look at his portfolio just to give you some context before we jump into the interview. But yeah, Todd just hit the 100K level. So we shipped him a nice little gift bag. He shared that on socials. Thank you for doing that. And we want to, yeah, kind of learn from a host and not just have me talking. So give you a look at what his portfolio looks like. He obviously has some very beautiful properties. These are located, I think, in Tennessee. And again, I'm going to have Todd introduce his portfolio, but I think it'll be difficult to show you these images while he's on the stage. Just giving you an idea of how his portfolio impacts his ability to get direct bookings. He's using a custom site. There's the Hospitable property search widget. So he's added that property search widget from Hospitable onto his custom site. He's doing a nice job of, I think, communicating his trust building mechanism. So why you can trust him to book direct. And there's what our booking widget looks like in his custom site. And with that, I think we can go ahead and bring him on stage and let him introduce his own properties. Hi, Todd.
Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
I'm doing all right. I'm really thankful that you're able to give us your time and share some of your successful tips with our hosts.
Yeah, it's been a great experience. Not only doing short-term rentals, but also this kind of journey of direct booking and kind of taking the power back from the OTAs.
Cool. So maybe, yeah, like I said, if you could help us maybe understand a bit better, what's your portfolio look like? How many properties? Where are they located, etc.?
Sure, we're in two markets. We're in the Smokies of Tennessee and in Blue Ridge, Georgia. We got 4, soon 5. We're building a tree house up in the Smokies. So we'll have 5 up there, and then we have 3 we do down in Blue Ridge. So both kind of mountain markets.
Okay. And what would you say is important in the kind of the messaging you do to convince people to book direct over an OTA? How do you bridge that gap and get people to book direct?
Well, what I really feel is you got to have the confidence in your brand that when somebody's going to be trying to book with you, that they know they're booking with somebody who is reputable, who is professional. If you have a GeoCities looking website, you're probably not going to attract many people when you're having to compete with so many other people and other brands that have these professional looking websites. So I always tell people you have to not only have professional pictures and everything like that, but you have to stand out with your website as well. So you have to communicate that whole value when you're doing it. And then also just we get people to come to us because we really heavily advertise the no booking fees, which we're grateful that Hospitable just did the whole hide the booking fee. We could up the rate. So basically it's a net zero effect. But to the guest point of view, when they see it and they try to book with us and they're comparing, Airbnb, Vrbo to our direct booking, they are seeing that there's no booking fees, there's no extra hidden service charges. And they really appreciate that. So not only does the net price end up being less, which is great because a guest wants to save money, but they don't see those booking fees, and they really appreciate that as well.
Okay. Great. So yeah, the site's important for that. Yeah, I like how you have this trust building content there. What would you say are the most high impact things you're doing to actually then drive those bookings to? Where are you finding the customers? Where are you finding the traffic? Where do your customers come from?
Yeah. So when people ask me about direct booking, a lot of times I tell them like, when you have a direct booking website, you have a tool out there. You have your business with your signpost out there, but if nobody's going to come to your business, it's useless. You could have the best looking shop in the world to sell vacations, but if nobody's going to come by down your street, what's the point? So I always found that you need to go to where your people are. And so basically in our markets, there are heavy trafficked Facebook groups for people trying to find cabins, people who want to book direct with owners and want to avoid those huge fees. Because like when you're booking a $5,000-$10,000 vacation for summer, those Airbnb fees are pretty ridiculous, honestly. Like it's insane how much they creep up on those things. And when you tell people like, hey, you could book with us and you could save $500, $700, $800, it's a pretty big incentive for them to look for you. So they're going to go into these Facebook groups, and basically you can start using that to kind of put your signpost up and say, hey, Here's who we are, here's our brand, here's our properties, and direct people to your website that way. So we find that's a pretty good way to start the process. We also use things like Facebook Marketplace as well to kind of advertise the properties. And then a big one for us is social media. So we find that not only do we have a social media presence for our properties, here's the pictures of the properties, here's kind of reviews that people are saying about our properties, but we're also starting other social media things. We call it like a journey page. Basically, it's how we do things, how we handle our properties. Here's me talking about my cabins. Here's me talking about the properties. And people engage with that content a lot. People don't like to be direct marketed to anymore. They don't want to be like, oh, slap an ad in my face. That's just not going to really do it as much. But when they can follow somebody who's going on a journey saying, hey, I'm buying a cabin, I'm setting up a cabin, I'm handling like bad guest experience, I'm doing this, they become engaged with your brand and they start to trust your brand. And they will share your brand. And that's what you want. You want organic sharing. You don't want to have to pay for advertising. You want your guests to be people who will advertise for you.
And yeah, talking about brand, like how do you kind of try to get some name recognition, or for people to even be like, okay, I'm going to search for Overlook Cabin Rentals. Like, I know we've talked to hosts in the past that like they try and sign off all of their review replies on Airbnb with Todd at Overlook Cabin Rentals, right? And then you're kind of giving that hint that, hey, that's probably a name I can Google. Are you doing things like that in all your media, like getting the brand?
Yeah,
name out there?
we are doing that a bit more. We are being a little careful with that sometimes because the like Airbnb and stuff like that can get a little unhappy with that. So we're treading carefully. But like, for example, because we had our presence of our direct booking site, I had somebody who booked a $4,000 vacation on Airbnb and then searched us. She found our, when she booked, she got the information. And then she was like, oh, let me search them online, found us and said, oh, I can book them directly and save $300. And we made $100 more. I took no effort on my part. So it's one of those things where you can just kind of do those little things that help. And there's, you also have to have, if you have a direct booking website, you have to have good SEO on it because you want people to be able to search your name and it comes up, and you need to have a brand that's identifiable. You can't just be Margaret's Cabin Rentals. Those are probably not, you don't want to be a dime a dozen. You want to have something that really sets you aside so people can find you and you're easily searchable.
Okay. Is there anything Hospitable could be doing to help move the needle on your success? What else? What would help you?
I mean, you guys have done a lot recently, so it's been a great. That's one thing I've really liked so much. Is I had like about a year ago, I had my mental checklist of like, man, I wish I had all these features, and you guys have just been knocking each one of them out. So that's been really grateful from my point of view. But if there were things I could see in the future, it would be more things. I know you guys are integrated with Google Vacation Rentals, more services like that. Basically, the more ways I can get more eyeballs on our property is always helpful.
Distribution.
So, just more distribution and ease of distribution because it doesn't really take me much to get set up on Google Vacation Rentals because you guys did all the back work for me. So that's what I like is where I can just like post my new property and it gets just distributed out automatically to all these things that are going to feed back into my direct booking. I would like to see more of like, if I could see what the guest sees. So if I could go through a sample booking process to be able to be like, hey, especially when you guys launch new features, it's always helpful for me to be like, oh, I can go through it and see what my guest is seeing. So if my guest runs into a problem or saying, hey, I see this, I'm confused, I can be like, oh, I understand what you're trying to do, or I can kind of see what you see. From a lot of times when they're like, oh, I'm trying to do this, I'm like, I don't know. Unless I book my own property, I can't really experience the direct booking process, especially because you guys now have that guest portal that you're kind of doing. So that is something I would like to see. So that way, if somebody has a problem, I can know like, okay, they're stuck in this process or they don't understand the click it. Because we do have some older guests who are not the greatest at technology sometimes. So that is helpful.
Cool.
Yeah. And then also, I'd love it if we could offer like premium options. So if like, hey, the guest could book, I know we have insurance. I do the direct premium model. So there's already insurance baked into what I'm paying. But hey, if I could sell the guest insurance, I mean, that's more profit margin for me. If the guest wants to pay for that. Or if they're able to, I know through the guest portal, book additional services, premium services. That way they can say, hey, we'll have it set up where we can deliver firewood to the cabin for you for the fire pit. So if they could purchase through there, do the processing right there, because the payment information is already in there. Yeah. I had a feeling, but I was like, you already got the system in place. Just like let them buy like stupid stuff, and then I can deliver that to the property. That would really help. I mean, hey, we're trying to basically, we have the properties in place. How can we wring every little dime and nickel out of these things we can while still providing a great experience?
Cool. Yeah, upsells are coming, and that's great feedback on. I think particularly the guest portal, and I see it's coming up in chat as well. Like, we need to be including the URL for that in the inbox, so you can open up what the guest is seeing and be able to have a bit better understanding about that guest portal. Cool. That was great feedback. It wasn't meant to be a softball question. I wanted to get hit hard. We're transparent and hospitable, so I'm happy to take any and all feedback. Maybe one just last question then. Anything else that you can share? Any final tips you want to leave with for anyone listening now on the live stream or on the recording? What would help to get more bookings?
Yeah, so direct booking is a process. It takes time. It's not something that you could just press a button with Airbnb and have your property is out and ready for rent with tons of people looking at it. Direct booking takes time to not only build the website, build your brand, market your brand, and just keep going. I mean, when we first started doing direct booking, we had, even before I was using Hospitable, we were just 1 or 2 people every now and then would inquire about direct booking, and it just was not moving much, but we just kept working at it. We kept posting on social media, we kept posting journey stuff, we kept marketing on pages, even if I felt like because sometimes you feel like you're posting, you're throwing stuff into the void, and you're like, is it coming back? And so it just took time and effort, and we slowly built it up, and now it's kind of, the machine is feeding itself, its wheels are turning. So I tell people all the time, don't get frustrated if you start it and it's not working in 2 weeks. You need to keep working at it and keep working at it. It may take 6 months, it may take a year for you to really start getting traction on that. But that's why I really tell people, and also just to really focus on your brand and what makes you special, what makes you unique, what makes you the difference maker in your market, what's going to set you aside, and really lean into that and find where those customers are and market to them, because people want to book your place. They just probably don't know you. They just don't know where you are. They don't know how to do it. And therefore, if you go find those people, you'll start definitely seeing those rewards.
Cool. Thank you, Todd. And congratulations on all the success you've had. We know it's been a journey. So good work.
Hey, I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the work you guys do.
Yeah. Thank you so much.